This is going to be an exploratory run. That 10-foot woods mower is a 0121. It's identical to this, same thing. Only that one was the original one we had. Now, when the old man bought this 20 whatever plus years ago, it was already hammered out. The squares are run oval, things are welded. Hope there's no wasps here. Should have brought some wasp spray. See, there's stuff jammed in there. Got like a muffler clamp holding things together. Wedges in there. Well, I got tired every time you're running it. This thing kept working out and then would stop driving. And you also have the idea of when this thing's whipping around here at X RPMs, having something come loose and smack you in the back of the head. Okay, I got this one. I bought it for parts. I don't know, I've had it for 5 years, maybe more. And I move them around every once in a while and mow, so trees don't grow up through them. But doing the mowing that I just did with the 5-footer and going around for 5 hours in a circle with a 5-footer, well, this would be going around in a circle for 2.5 hours with a 10-footer. All right. And on top of that, one of these new, or even a good one used, is really more than I want to pay. I mean, one of these, I priced a 10-foot woods. Now, I don't know, I was just off the shot. The only one I could find with a price on it online was $20,000. Yeah, for cutting weeds like this here. It's not like I'm clearing fields and I got corn stubble to take down or any of that. I'm chopping up wild carrots. Anyway, long story short, I'm going to try to see if I can come up with enough parts out of the two of these to make one. Yeah. Okay. So, no time like the present. Hey, look at that. Wasps. Tells you how long it's been since I moved this. I mean, it ain't really been that long, about a month, I guess. All right, so what I'll do here is sorry if you can't see, because I don't know what you're looking at. Can you tell I don't know what I'm looking at? If you don't, thank you. Is that too? Yeah, that should be right. Okay. Gosh golly gee willikers. Have to readjust. I'll move this over that way a little more. What I'm gonna do is drag this over closer to the house. Well, not house, sorry, the garage. Why, you say? So I don't have to run 5,000 miles with tools. Plus, I'll be trying out my new 120 impact driver on this. I have a Milwaukee battery operated, but it's not going to have enough ass to turn these bolts out of here, I'm pretty sure. Illusion. There we go. Like that pin? Yeah. Another one of my award-winning improvisations. Okay, let's hope the in-gear parking brake works, because there is no other parking brake besides that. A little bit of drag from that back box. All right, I'll have to give it to whoever welded those hooks on there. Bang up job. Step 1 and step 2 are pretty much taken care of here. This is here, that's there. I should be able to reach this with an extension cord, no problem. This deck, my deck, which was my original one, not the parts one, the deck looks better. The tongue on that look on the other one's better. It's got still the screws and the handle there and all some other jockey stuff that I'm not sure what all that's about. But I'll give it a go. As I pull it apart, I'll see more as to what kind of shape everything is in. But I'm going to try to minimize all this, which this is going to be a task. All right, I'll bring you back when I figure something out. I have the feeling, come here, take a walk with me. I have the feeling that this is going to pull loose out of here, but the problem is that I think I'm going to have to get underneath this, because there's blades underneath there, and I don't think this is just going to pull up off of that unless I can pull a pin or something in that gear and get that gear to loose up and come out with the box by itself. I'm just doing a trial run here to figure out what I'm doing, because I'm not really sure. Never done this before, but I mean, it doesn't look terribly hard as long as the stuff underneath comes loose. See what you got down in there? Now, these are supposed to be filled with hydraulic fluid or oil, but after they're so old, almost everybody to a person, once things get so old, there's no point in, I mean, you could try to replace the seals in these to keep them from leaking, but the thing is, they have mechanical wear the metal gets worn and it gets wallowed out, and then the seals don't fit. So what everybody does is what they did here. Now this is broke off. There's a grease fitting on this. They just pump these full of grease. So, and it works, and it doesn't leak out, and it buys time and saves expense, because these things are expensive as hell to try to replace parts on. And you'd be throwing money good after bad in replacing seals. There's just no point in replacing seals because the metal's fatigued and worn out. It looks to me like I got to try to get that snap ring off of there, which should be fun. I got snap ring pliers, but nothing in that ballpark. Okay. I usually hate adjustable wrenches, because every time you go in to grab, it's either too loose or too tight. Too loose, she'll flop around. If you're too tight, you can't get it on the goddamn thing. Well, this, and not that I'm advertising for anything, you see this? Almost works like a locking plier. And if you're by yourself and you have to get around two sides of something, where you can't get to the other side, you see that right there? You can tighten that down, latch that on there, start to spin, and then she comes up and catches on something, which can be real handy. Now, Stanley as it goes is nyeh today, and usually one-off tools are nyeh too. But I will say, this thing I have used quite a bit, especially when I'm working around here and I'm doing stuff on big machinery and I don't have any help. 250 millimeter Stanley, 10-inch. What is that? 85-610. Made in China. So, get that hub to slide out. I need to remove that pin right here and pick that bar up. It's after lunch. Got a little shade going for me here, which will help. All right. Went out and scrambled up some cinder blocks, well, and or concrete blocks, and I got these wheels cogged up here. Now it's because I'm going to try to lift this side of it, this front piece of it, and put these cinder blocks underneath on the corners to lift that up, to take pressure off of that jack, because this tongue floats. If you can see, it hinges here, and again, like I said before, when you raise and lower this, there's a rod that comes up here that attaches to this tongue. As those wheels tip down, it pulls back on this, which pulls back on this, which pushes down on the tongue on the tractor, which lifts the whole thing, front and back. That way it lifts evenly. And it all depends on that rod. Well, I can't pull that pin out of that rod because there's so much tension on it, because it's all being held up by this jack. So I'll get that up. I got that cogged to see if those things hold in place. Enough for me to get this up. Once I get the front end up on these blocks, I'll pick up the back end, and then I'll start taking that landing gear off of there, in theory. So, all right, let me put you on the perch, and I gotta back up a little bit here so you can get a view. Actually doing all right. I'll leave her sit here a couple days before I crawl underneath it. But, I mean, I'll continue to work on top here and get this landing gear off, or try to. Same guy must have welded that hook too. Chain was really working for its money there. You know what? Just for shits and giggles. There you go. Take a look at what we got here. Ah, now I see. That's why that shaft right there that you're looking at goes up through. Now I see why this doesn't turn, because the gear separated and this sank because this bed was all rotted out. So we'll try to get this off of here. Like I said, once I'll probably block this up a little more. I'll see if I can find some more cinder blocks in the meantime, and or I don't know. Got some 4x4s around here, because I sure as hell don't want this coming down on me. But there you go. You can look and see what we got. The bed's just, I mean, the body's just frames on this, or yeah, deck. Okay, there we go. The deck is just toast on this thing. They patched it once, I see that, but it, you know, it rotted around the outside of it and it fell through too. Okay. Look at that one. Alright, I'll bring you back. Finally back at it here. Man. Okay. Now I have to pull all these pins out of here. Like I said before, here's one there. Need to pull out the hydraulic cylinder and the pin up there on that spring, and the one on the other side. Same thing all over again. This is my original brush hog. Over there is the other one. The one I'm pulling parts off of, I'm going to use on this. All in all, everything I've looked at in here, the gears in that one, I was going to pull the parts off of. The gears in that are stripped, but the gears in mine are good. The thing being is this all cobbled to hell. So I'm going to replace this gearbox and the shaft, pull this stuff off of here. But first, in order to get this gearbox off, again, like with the other one, I have to take this tensioning rod off of here. Now I have on this, I put a bind, old style bind, from this point right here to that point up there to relieve the tension off of this rod. I mean, it's up in the air, so it doesn't do anything, but that'll give some to pull the tension off of that, so it'll be easier to remove this pin and this cotter key, which is, this should come out of here pretty easily now. But all the weight on here, before, it was bound up. All right, so put you in the perch, and I'll start on this. See what I can come up with here. I'm gonna be mad if I don't have a hammer here. I got a hammer, but it ain't the one I wanted. Yep, can't see. turkey out. Now this pin. You know, there we go. All right, now I got the tension off of this. I can take these bolts out. Yeah, this should be good. You guess I got to break out the big guns. Be right back. Well, that hole looks nice and square. That's a whole lot better than the other one. Wow, look at that. Right out. Okay. I'll move you out of the way. Same thing all over again. There's a cap like this one, identical up there and that, which fills in the square gear, and snap rings hold these into place, keep these from going. There's one on each side of this to keep this from sliding out of the block. Now here's this one that's going to come on the end for this other hub that's going here. So, and that's this hub right here, the one I'm changing out and I'm putting in there. So we'll see what this looks like. Might have to close up shop here. It looks like it's about ready to rain. And by close up shop, I mean go inside. Not take this with me. Be done for the day. Oh, mommy. Oh yeah. Big old fat. What did I do with that? Oh, okay, there it is. This is from time immemorial too, or however you say it. I don't have a Ford, so I don't need Type F. Something takes Type F here that I don't remember what it was. But at any rate, there we go. A little in there, a little in here. A little in here. Oops, wrong cap. I'll leave that off. Yeah, she looks like she's disappearing. Now for this magic stuff. This might have been good hydraulic fluid, I don't know. It was given to my father by I don't know what. Uncle or something. 20 years ago. But regardless. It wasn't kept in good condition. See, that's what she's supposed to look like. Well, and there too. Reason being, I'm going to let that, so that'll drift down through, hopefully seep down through the spindles. Let me take you to the bottom. Which I'm pretty sure this is probably like running out of the bottom. Can't swear to it. Can you see anything? I can't. Alright, well, it doesn't look wet yet. How about that one? That might be. But that's okay. That's what I wanted it to do. Seep in. Saturate that bearing and or raceway and or whatever else is in there. grease the wheels, so to speak. Give you a glimpse of what's going on here. This gear spins another gear that's just like it on the wall, very similar to the on the bottom, which in turn spins the blades. And I might be worried a little bit too much now. It's more play than it had. What I'm trying to do is work this back and forth, because if there's whatever rust build up in there, it'll push the rust back and forth out of the way, let some of that oil penetrate down in there, and hopefully lube this up decent. I think she'll spin. I just don't want to bang on it. I'll get the PTO hooked up and then it'll spin it out. Hopefully it'll spin it out something. I'll try to start this real slow, because I hate to go through all this to have gears shear off on me. What a drag that'd be. Alright, so that's definitely moving more than it was. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, alright. Now I feel better. So my transmission fluid and hydraulic fluid and weasel piss and whatever else I used in there seems to be doing the trick. So let's see what our luck is about here. I can't identify the other one I pulled out. Another one of these. Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. I was delusional. All right, this needs to come up out of the way, I believe. And this is going to need to slide back. This should be like pushing a window uphill. Now what the... Okay. Angle's wrong right here, so I'm going to have to lower that down. Boy, that thing's pretty gruesome looking. Okay, here goes. I'll take a swath down through this field, and hopefully at high RPMs nothing comes loose. Well, I now have a functioning 10-footer again. Just have to button it up, put the shields on it, whatnot. I will tack that right there for sure. It hasn't moved yet, but I know when I put this shields back on it and everything, that'll come out of there. I'm almost 1000% sure. Oh, got a hitchhiker. Is it beautiful? No. I missed that right there because I was watching the brush hog instead of watching where I was going. I just wanted to see if anything started to rattle loose. If it did, I wanted to shut her down before things started to get ugly. Now, she ain't beautiful, but it will save me. It's twice the swath that a 5-footer is. You know, that makes a world of difference when you're going around here. One, it saves fuel. Two, it saves time. And really saves money now that I don't have to buy one, because these things are, I mean, for somebody who's just cutting weed, I'm trying to keep the trees and brush down in the field. I don't farm, but I have some acreage here. And it ain't worth spending the kind of money they want for these. So if I can get to another, whatever, 10 years out of this, would be cool. All right, well, thanks for watching.